These are the tales from South Florida for you, with your host, Bill Monty.
Welcome to Tales from South Florida, the podcast where we wander through time exploring the people, places, and stories that shaped the Sunshine State's southernmost frontier. I'm your host, Bill Monty, and today I'm taking a trip to a hidden paradise in the heart of Broward County, a place where pink flamingos strut, alligators sunbathe, and giant trees whisper stories older than Florida itself. So I'm inviting you to come along with me on a talk down memory lane. Today's tale is about a magical place known as Flamingo Gardens. It's located in the town of Davie. It's more than just a botanical garden, more than a wildlife sanctuary. It's a living time capsule, an echo of old Florida. Our story begins in 1927 when a man named Floyd L. Ray, a successful attorney and citrus grower, and his wife Jane Ray bought 320 acres of untamed Everglades land. Back then, Davie was mostly wilderness, dense hammocks, slow-moving rivers, and swampy lowlands dotted with sable palms and live oaks. Floyd had a vision, a citrus grove surrounded by rare and exotic trees, but Jane, she had something more radical in mind. She wanted to preserve the natural beauty of Florida, to protect it. So while Floyd built up a working citrus grove, Jane began planting the seeds of what would become one of Florida's oldest botanical gardens, quite literally. They brought in rare tropical and subtropical trees from around the world, baobabs from Africa, sausage trees from Kenya, and massive fig trees from Asia. At the time, no one imagined this plot of land would one day be home to one of the largest and oldest collections of champion trees in Florida. In the 1930s and 1940s, the Rays opened their home and grove to visitors. It started informally, friends, neighbors, scientists, plant enthusiasts, but word spread quickly. People came to see the towering trees, the rare orchids, and the riot of tropical colors in bloom. By 1940, Jane had named the estate Flamingo Gardens, inspired by a growing colony of flamingos on the property. Now let's take a pause here. Flamingos in Florida, they're a bit of a complicated topic. They are native, but due to habitat destruction and overhunting, wild flamingos were rare by the early 20th century. Jane, ever the conservationist, wanted to bring them back, not just to Flamingo Gardens, but to the Florida landscape itself. So soon the gardens were not just about plants, they were about preservation. Flamingo Gardens became one of the earliest examples of environmental education and wildlife care in South Florida. At the heart of Flamingo Gardens sits the original Ray home, a charming wood-framed house built in 1933. It's modest, but filled with warmth and the rustic elegance of old Florida. Today, it serves as a museum, showcasing early pioneer life with original furnishings, family photographs, and a glimpse into how Floyd and Jane lived. It's a rare thing to walk through a Florida home that's nearly 100 years old and still feels alive, not just preserved, but loved. In many ways, Floyd and Jane Ray were ahead of their time. Conservation, education, sustainable farming, they weren't buzzwords in the 1930s, but the Rays made them their life's mission. After Floyd Ray's death in 1959, Jane continued to nurture Flamingo Gardens. She donated the property to a nonprofit trust, ensuring that it would remain open to the public and used for education and preservation. In the decades that followed, Flamingo Gardens evolved into one of the most important wildlife sanctuaries in South Florida. Injured or non-releasable animals found refuge there. Panthers, otters, bobcats, black bears, eagles, and of course, flamingos. Today, over 90 native species call Flamingo Gardens home. Many of them were rescued or rehabilitated. They cannot return to the wild, but they can live safely here, educating visitors and helping researchers understand Florida's fragile ecosystems. One of the most famous residents? A flamingo named Mango, who became something of a local celebrity for his antics and flair. Flamingo Gardens continues to grow, not just in size but in impact. The gardens now span 60 acres and include the Ray Museum, a tropical rainforest area, a butterfly and hummingbird garden, and narrated tram tours that take guests through the wetlands and jungle. Events like the Flamingo Fest Orchid and Bromeliad Show and Harvest Festival bring thousands of visitors each year, many of them children seeing a flamingo or a black bear for the very first time. It's part zoo, part botanical garden, part living museum, and entirely magical. What makes Flamingo Gardens special is not just its beauty, but its sense of time. When you step onto the grounds, the chaos of modern Florida falls away. You can hear the wind in the trees, the call of a peacock, the splash of an otter. You're reminded of what Florida was and what it can still be. Floyd and Jane Ray planted more than just trees in Davie. They planted an idea that we could live alongside nature without destroying it, that we could learn from it, protect it, and pass it on. And nearly 100 years later, that idea is still alive, growing, blooming, flying, and flamingo waddling across the gardens they left behind. If you're ever in South Florida and need a break from the highways and high rises, Flamingo Gardens is waiting, just as it has been, for generations. It was a few weeks ago, on a Sunday, that my wife and I decided to take a visit to Flamingo Gardens. We had been many times in the past. We went often when guests came to town. When my daughter was growing up, we had annual memberships and went quite often. But we hadn't been in many years. And really, it's just down the street from our house. So we thought we would go and visit to see what it was like one more time. If you would like to see our visit there and to see some of the things that I've just talked about, I filmed our visit there and put it on our YouTube channel, Tales from South Florida. So hop on over to YouTube and you can see not only Flamingo Gardens, but some of our restaurant visits and reviews, some of the spots we've talked about in previous episodes, like the Cooley Massacre, or the old Davie Schoolhouse, or the Hollywood Sportatorium site, or Sunrise Musical Theater. They're all on our YouTube channel, so jump on over there and enjoy the fun. You can do that simply by visiting Talesfromsouthflorida.com, which has all of our past audio episodes and also connects to our YouTube channel. In our visit, though, we were reminded once again what a wonderful, unique spot Flamingo Gardens is. It's located in western Broward County in Davie. It's at the corner, basically kind of the corner of Orange Drive and Flamingo Road. You have to think when you're visiting there and looking at it, this was really just desolate Everglades when the Rays decided to build their home here and to live here and to build a grove here. Even back when I moved here as a child in 1965, this area was not developed at all. Flamingo Gardens, along with a park that was kind of across the street, were really the only things out here. The rest was what we would call strictly Everglades. Now, of course, it's all condos and townhomes and houses and Walmarts. Yeah, not at all what it was. But if you'd like, you can stop into the nature park that I talked about in an earlier episode. I'll put a link in the show notes. Or you can visit Flamingo Gardens. Their gift shop is great. Their holiday, Halloween, and Christmas celebrations are a lot of fun. People line up. As a matter of fact, the day we went, it was quite crowded. And I'm going to give you a warning. In the summer months, bring some way to keep cool. A portable fan, a neck fan, any of those type of things. We ended up leaving simply because the heat just became too much. But you can step into the Ray House, which I just loved. I loved going in there because it really was a step back in time and it's beautifully preserved. There's a museum showcasing photographs and artwork. And the tram tour, I love that. If I go back again, I might do that tram ride 2 or 3 times. It's included in your admission, so you don't have to pay more for it. They have a wildlife exhibition show and so many animals that have been rescued and have a new life there. for you to see and enjoy. You can also make donations. They do need your help. So if you have like old blankets or maybe a pet crate you no longer use, donate it to Flamingo Gardens. It's a wonderful way to recycle some of your old items and give life to an animal that might need it. If you'd like more information on hours, prices, then visit the Flamingo Gardens website. And as a note, I have no connection with Flamingo Gardens. They're not a sponsor. I make no money, and I have no financial arrangement with them. It's just another part of the history of where we live. It's just one more of the tales from South Florida that I like to tell you. And since it's still open, and you can still visit it, I hope you'll stop by. And when you do, tell them that Bill Monty sent you. Thank you for joining us on Tales from South Florida. If you like today's story, please subscribe and follow and leave us a review. And if you've ever been to Flamingo Gardens, I wish you would share your memories with me, because I would love to hear them. And as always, remember to visit talesfromsouthflorida.com. Until next time, this is Bill Monty, reminding you that in every corner of South Florida, there's a story waiting to be told. Until we speak again, my friends, be safe and be kind.
Let's take a talk down memory lane, 'cause the stories around here are just insane. Pirates World, the Sporto and Wolfies too, Palm Beach to Key West, that's where we grew. These are the tales from South Florida for you, with your host Bill Monty.
Does the news cycle make you feel like you're on a tilt-a-whirl of outrage? Feeling like your brain is a political piñata getting whacked 24/7? There's an antidote. Outrage Overload is the podcast where we hit the pause button on the outrage train. We dissect the headlines, peel back the layers of negativity, and explore the science behind why you keep wanting to throw your phone at the wall. Before you lose another brain cell to outrage fatigue, check out the Outrage Overload podcast at outrageoverload.net or wherever you get your podcasts.